2020 has been a crazy time. We honored to have a legendary member of the Goodie Mob on. I gotta ask you,
sir.
How does cell therapy correlate to what's going on right now? Because a lot of people calling y'all prophets.
Man, I heard that. I mean, I hear that. And I hear it a lot too, and I've heard it more often as of late than ever. You know what I mean? And I do see that. I do make the obvious connection. But I mean, what can I say, man? Like, it was us, trying to make some information, available, and it's difficult. It's a difficult process of, like being that you have to compete with club bangers and, and things of that nature. So like, like you got to imagine, this is 1995, a virtually unknown group, you know what I mean? Coming out of the South, coming out of Atlanta, Georgia, about to release a first single about New World Order. You know what I mean? Like that's so ballsy. You know what I'm saying? Like I think if the label had even known what that was even about, you know what I mean? Like it probably would have never seen the light of day, because what your opinion is, when you voice your opinion, that is your political stance as well. You know what I mean? Like, and so you immediately have opposition. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
From someone who thinks differently. So therefore, it's not the label's prerogative. You know what I mean? Like, to be, involved or associated with anybody's political stance or posturing. You know what I'm saying? So much love to L.A. Reid and LaFace Records for allowing us to be that blunt. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, because it was definitely controversial and it was dangerous at the time. So we definitely took the road less traveled, and who would have known that, it would be even more relevant, you know what I mean?
Ceelo Green got a phone call.
Yeah, that's what probably happened.
Seems like that. If you want to hit his people up and tell him.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us now? I don't think you can hear us.
Might probably jump out, jump back in.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably coming back in, so it'll be good.
We gotta remember to tell phone people that before we start the interview, so they can just know they get a call to jump out, jump back in. So,
yeah, definitely. But yeah, you tune into the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. Ceelo Green is coming back again. Hit that 5-star rating, if you will. Can you hear us now, bro?
I'm here, bro. I'm here.
Awesome.
My bad.
Great.
Man. Okay, so let me continue. I'm glad that, I mean, and this, I believe that this is why they wanna and this is why they have, ostracized and totally disabled what was conscience in hip hop. You know what I mean? Because of a song like this being able to come back and be relevant and awaken and enlighten and inform a generation or two after the fact. I mean, 25 years later, you know what I mean? Like, kids have come into the world, you know what I mean? Like, with no preconceived notion or an inkling of what this is supposed to all mean. You know what I'm saying? And so, God would have it that a 4-man group out of Atlanta wrote a song, like that would give you some type of light on the subject and give you some solace. And I mean, like, and an opportunity to inform yourself. You know what I mean? So it's a trip, man. You know what I mean? But it's not nothing that I really would have wanted to prophesy. I mean, I wish that we weren't. I wish we weren't living through this right now, man. Like, you feel me? Like, I wish we didn't have to go through it. I wish that the art form, you know what I mean, like, could have allowed us to evade. I mean, like, and avoid, any of this as a reality. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's disappointing to me because I wish, we could have been more effective. I wish we could have done more. I wish people would have listened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish that there was not such a continuous effort and agenda against our emotional and intellectual well-being. You know what I'm saying? I do realize that that's conditioning, and it's curbed our enthusiasm to like a screeching halt because, like, there is no conscience music, and there is no demand. You know what I'm saying? Like, for it either. So it's like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, but one thing that's good about it is we're doing another Goodie Mob record right now. So we're celebrating 25 years of doing what we do, and we're still here. We still got a lot of love, still got a lot of life. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of information to share. You know what I'm saying? And so I guess it does kind of help bring it back around full circle, where people can tune in and really check us out, and in the way that we've grown and evolved. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me, where we are in present day. But like, no, it's like, it's a trip though. You know what I mean? It's a trip to look at that video and listen to that song, and I'm like, wow, like, so if anything, for me, it was peace. I got a chance to make my peace with it. I'm like, if I ain't do nothing else in life, man, I was able to give my people something real. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Yeah.
I could dig it.
Yeah, drug promotion in hip hop has been a big problem lately. A lot of artists, promote lean, Percocets. How do you feel about that in the direction of hip hop and the direction hip hop is going now?
Well, it's always been that way. But I guess it was just the drug of that time. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever time it was, like, before marijuana was decriminalized, within the last few years, basically the chronic would qualify as drug promotion. You know what I'm saying? Or
true.
You know what I'm saying? So, even people don't know this, but blow is slang for cocaine. But then you got Curtis blow, or they call getting high skiing. So, like, you got Cool Rock Ski or Joe Ski Love. You know what I mean? Like, so you kind of gotta know. Or you got rappers like Sonny Chiba. That's weed. So people would put it would be their name. You know what I'm saying? And so, but anyway, to answer your question, I think it has to do with pain. You know what I mean? Like, we as a community, as a race of oppressed people, we live in pain. We live in the pain, with the pain. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's about they're perpetuating and promoting drug use, but it's really about sedation, and it's a way of dealing with pain or addressing pain. But nobody wants to be vulnerable or be transparent or honest enough to say, I'm in pain. You know what I mean? But this is the way that the youth deals with pain, by sedation. So basically, to reference a drug, you're basically expressing a need for escapism. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
So as opposed to having the resilience, reaffirm, you know what I mean? Like, inside of you, to deal with things soberly, you know what I mean? And deal with things directly. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just much more difficult to deal with pain. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we are, people got identity crises, they got inferiority complexes. You know what I mean? Like, like we're hated, we're hunted, we're exploited, we're we're exhausted. You know what I mean? As black males, as black men, as black people, as black culture. You know what I mean? Like, we all got ADD, we all got PTSD. You know what I mean? And so it's just about how we're dealing with it. You know what I mean? But I wish I could be more of an authority because, like music is not always meant to convey, a message or a solution or some somber song about sobriety or straight and narrow. I mean, like, I wish life was that easy. You know what I mean? And so, when it's truly art does imitate life. You know what I mean? And life is equated with one other thing, and that's chance. You know what I'm saying? And chance is equated with one other thing, and that's liability. You know what I'm saying? So there's no guarantee. You know what I mean? But you have to think twice and tread lightly. You know what I mean? Like, and hopefully there's whether we got a big homie or OG or elder. You know what I mean? Or you're a prayerful person and you got and you calling on the ancestors to help recalibrate in some regard your moral compass to help you navigate these waters, you know what I'm saying, like a lot more effectively and successfully. You know what I mean? But with there being such a communication gap and generation gap, it's like we don't speak. You know what I mean? Like we don't, the kids they don't seek the information. They don't seek the wisdom of the elders anymore. And so, I was just explaining to somebody earlier today how, we're talking about Little Richard, and I'm almost like, damn man, like, he was great. A lot of people they don't really know what their history was. But I come from an era where we were exposed to that history. We were exposed to our parents' music. You know what I mean? Like I might have been young, but I heard Freddie Jackson and I heard Anita Baker and Babyface. You know what I'm saying? Like you feel me? And you see what I'm saying? Like so those were adults making adult contemporary black music. So there was wisdom encoded, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the way that their mannerism and then in the maturity of the production, the content, the subject, you know what I mean? Like, the situational things that they addressed. So with that being said, today's youth, they don't really have those reference points, so therefore they are imitating each other. And when your art imitates your peer, then neither one of you guys have been alive long enough to actually be great. So you're not imitating greatness. You know what I'm saying?
Where did it happen? Where did it fall off? Because even in our era, during the 90s, you had, in particular, R&B. R&B is not the same. You got great R&B artists now, but it's not the same. Where do you, in your opinion, think that it fell off at? Where did the torch fall off?
I mean, we have to ask ourselves, what was the reality of that? Did it fall off or was it sawed off? Were we severed from it? I mean, like systematically. You know what I mean? Because it's just that divide and conquer. Agenda of where it's just like that's what the system and the enemy has always done. You know what I mean? Like, and America is an animal that eats its young.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? So